Oh, in this video I will talk about the variables and fair test. Oh, and I will use a case that to study which bands of the tissue paper absorb waters better. And here are the two brands, brand A and brand B. And I will like to study which of them can have a higher ability to absorb water. Then what you are actually comparing or what you really want to study. Well, yes, it's the brand. The only difference is the brand, whether you are using brand A or brand B. And then the second question is that, how can you measure the ability of them to absorb water? Just put some water on the bench or the table, and then you put the tissue paper on the top, and then you remove the tissue paper and then see how much water is left behind, and this is the way how you do the analysis. And let's look at the video first. And here are brand A and brand B, and some water drops onto the table. For A, we use a large drop of it, and then for B, we use only a smaller drop of it. Do you think that you can obtain an accurate result? Or even more water is added, and put the paper onto the top to absorb the water on the bench. And then as you may see, they get wet and they absorb some water. And then remove them. Here is the scenario for brand B, where not much water is left. And here is A. A lot of water is left. Do you think that this test is fair to brand A? Here is the second scenario. A large brand A paper is used, and only a small piece of brand B is used. And I tried to make sure that the water are similar in the amount. And then put the papers onto the top respectively for absorbing the water. And again, remove them to see how much water is left. For B, a lot of water is left, and then for A, almost all of it is absorbed. Do you think this test is fair to the test brand A and brand B? The answer is obviously no. It is because for a smaller paper, of course, you may make a prediction that it can absorb only a smaller amount of water. Then how can you make the test fair? And for the size of the paper in this case, and then the amount of water droplet in this case, they are called the control variable because they will make the test unfair. So if you really want to do a fair comparison, you have to keep these two variables constant. And the only difference of your test should be the thing you really want to study, you really want to test for. In this case, you only want to compare the difference between the brand of tissue paper A and B. So for other variables, you should keep them constant. And here is the way how you should do the experiment. First of all, the size of the tissue paper should be the same. And then we should add a similar amount of water onto the bench. And then for brand A, or a similar amount of water. And then put those two tissue paper onto the top respectively to absorb some water. and then we remove them to see okay how much water is left behind. That is, the water remain unabsorbed. Oh, and here is the result for B, and then for A. And quite obviously for brand A, it should absorb more water, so that less water is left behind. And here we call it okay a fair test for them.